Hello, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Thanksgiving, hopefully. Something that just came into my mind today. I wasn't going to get on today, but like I always tell you, I try to give it to you as they come to me. And today is for the free side. All right. We have a members only YouTube. And then I have of course, the free side that you're listening to now. But we'll get into it as soon as I'm gonna wait a few minutes for everybody to get up in here, and then we're gonna get started. Hope you guys checking out the title. What's up, Aaron? Yeah, holidays. All holidays are different for me now, right? It's you just look at it. I just look at it totally different now. All holidays. It's like sometimes I'll think back and say, if I didn't get the day off, would I really care about this holiday as much? Because I remember when I was working and I was deep in debt, I would look forward to these holidays, not only, to get with family and stuff, but I was just off from work for at least a couple days. Usually if it tied into the weekend, I was really happy. And what's so crazy, I just never thought about why I was so happy to be away from work, because I didn't want to be there. That's why I look forward to those holidays. But anyway, what's up, Mr. Bell? What's up, Bell Johnson? What's going on? What's going on live? Quentin, what's up? All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is LJ Young, and I'm a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them mathematically see what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is a place where everybody lives that believes in credit and debt and financing everything that goes down in value and can't figure out why they're living paycheck to paycheck. Just can't figure it out. It can't be those car payments. It can't be all those credit card payments. It can't be that boat payment. Can't be the furniture payment. Can't be the washer and dryer payment. Can't be the computer payment. It can't be the phone payment. It can't be none of that. Okay. When that's exactly what it is. And all you got to do is look at it mathematically. Now, I lived there for the first 40 years of my life, found Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey basically said, take the math that you learned in grade school and apply it to your finances and you'll win with money. And that's exactly what I did. Everything Mr. Ramsey was saying just made mathematical sense. Okay. It wasn't his programs. It wasn't, because he was a Christian, and it was none of that. To me, his math made sense. I was like, that makes sense. And then I did it, and now I'm free. Now, what do I do to help people come out of the debt matrix? I show them what I call the glitches in the debt matrix, like pointing out things that are not mathematically true, right? I'll just point out, hey, if you have a 30-year mortgage, you're not really a homeowner, right? And if they just do the math, they would like, oh my God, you're right. That's true. Or when I'll say, when people believe they own the equity in a house that they don't own. And these are what's called unconscious slaves, okay? There's two types of slaves. There's unconscious slaves and conscious slaves. There's two types of slaves that live in the debt matrix, all right? Unconscious slaves are people that do their whole financial world without trusting mathematics. Those are what's called unconscious slaves. All right, conscious slaves have probably heard a person like me or Dave Ramsey and said, hey, it's only about mathematics. And then they wake up and say, oh my God, I trust math. And now they see how much debt they're in. And then they're just doing whatever it takes to get out. Okay, there's two types. So what I do is, like I said, I point out to unconscious slaves to say, hey, you're not a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage. Why you keep calling yourself one, right? When it's not mathematically true. Now, some will fight, some will wake up, but so you can understand what happens when they something clicks. There's always long pauses when you speak to somebody, because that's the glitch. That's why they're pausing, like, wait a minute, I've been told all this my life, and all I got to just use the math that I learned in grade school. Yep, that's it, and you'll be rich. That's it. Okay, so I expose the glitches. Nobody gets a finance car on sale, but yet you believe you did, right? You go around and tell your friends, yeah, I got this car on sale. I talked down the dealership. They wanted this and that, but then we find out you finance it for 84 months. You didn't buy anything. You didn't get it for the sale price. Nobody in the world gets a finance car on sale. Why do you believe you are when it's not mathematically true? So that's what I do. I expose the glitches. Okay. Now, like I said, I was in debt for the first 40 years of my life, 18 to 40, just believing everything everybody says. Credit score, you ain't shit without credit. You got to go to college for 4 years. You got to go to this school. You got to be this type of engineer worker, and all of it's bullshit. All of it. For you kids being pushed to college right now and you don't even know why you're going, there's a reason why you don't know. That's a big red sign to say, don't go. If you don't know, you're about to go spend $100,000+ on something you don't even know. Don't do it. I don't care what your parents say. So what? Any parents pushing you like that without telling you who's going to pay for college, this is what I want you to turn to your parents and say, Mom, Dad, do you still have your student loans? If they tell you yes, that means their student loans are older than you. That means they did it wrong. So you don't do what they do. You do the opposite of that. Because what they did doesn't make any mathematical sense. To go to college for 4 years and pay your student loans for 20, that doesn't make any sense. Now, as a successful engineer, and when I say success, I mean according to people in the debt matrix, they believe if you make six figures, you've made it. Okay, I'm gonna tell you that. I'm gonna tell you something right now that is furthest from the truth that could ever be. That's a myth. Okay, once you get on the other side, you will clearly see that that's a myth. That's only a lot of money. Whoever, you got to remember this, okay? Whoever believes six figures is a lot of money, when they say that out loud, they're telling you something. They're telling you they believe six figures is a lot of money, not you, them. Even $1 million. You got to remember, whoever says $1 million is a lot of money, you got to realize who's saying that. Who is actually saying $1 million is a lot of money? And then you got to look at the person. Look at the person and see how they're living. And then it'll pretty much tell you why they believe that. Now, I was thinking today when I was in debt making six figures, and I would be happy to work on holidays because they was going to pay me time and a half or double time or whatever. A company making billions with a B. Okay. Time and a half, my pay time and a half ain't nothing. I was the only one selling the time of my life for money. They said, "Hey man, this is what they're really saying, okay? For slaves that you guys don't even see. What is it going to take to pay you so you'll work on a holiday so I don't have to miss it?" The owners of the companies and shit like that, they just go, "How much will it take for you to miss the time, to skip this time in your life so I don't miss it?" Because people with money understand those moments are gone forever. You can't make up a Christmas because you're working, because you're getting extra money. Like, say, like you work through Christmas 2019, right? And you're like, "Oh, I got time and a half." You just don't realize, guess what? You just lost to Christmas 2019, a time in your life that you're never ever going to be able to get back for the little time and a half peanuts that they're paying you. Once you get out of debt, slaves, you'll realize the only thing that's valuable the most valuable thing on earth is time. Like when you believe you're getting double time and a half, minus what? Taxes? It ain't even close to double time and a half. The mo- this is what you hear a lot in the debt matrix. Hey, you know, the more you make, the more they take. That answer's true. Yes. Slaves will say that all the time. Hey man, you know you'll go up in the tax bracket. The more you make, the more. Yeah, figure out why that is. Don't just say the state. Just don't walk around saying the statement like most slaves do. Oh, you know, the more they make, the more they take, and you just walk around and say, okay, that's just is the way it is. No, it's not. Only for people that don't take the time to understand. You're making way less. You don't even know what you're selling. I didn't know what I was selling. I did that plenty of times because they was paying me double time and a half. I sold the time of my life for double time and a half. I don't give a fuck what it was. I don't care how much I was making $160,000 a year. I don't care what it is. That's why I can't fit back in the regular working world. I would accept none of that shit. No. Hey, we're going to require you to work through Christmas. No, you're not. I quit. Hey, yeah, you're going to have to work through Thanksgiving because we have to do this and this business is saying we have to do. I don't give a shit what you got to do. You going to do what? I quit. I'm not a slave. That's why I wouldn't fit back into the regular working world. Now, I want you guys to understand something, okay? And I want to make this crystal clear. I don't really do a lot of cursing, okay? I just don't. Whenever you do hear me curse, I want you to understand I curse because I need you to understand the seriousness of what I'm saying at that moment when I say certain things, because that's exactly what it is. You just can't see it. You know how many days I was sick, but I had to go to work because I couldn't afford to take the days off without pay? That sounds like pure insanity to me today. Right there, that's the biggest red flag. Wait a minute, you pick a money. You need money over your own health. That's a big financial red flag. Oh my God, man. And even the people. Now I want you guys to. Now this is a little bit off target, but I need you guys to understand something. Okay, this is a this market, this economy right now. This is an employer's market. This is an employer's market. Those people that will remain in business, that will survive in this business. They're right. Okay. And this is the hard truth. I'm gonna just, and this is just my opinion. They're clearing the board of all the fakers. You guys, you pretenders that you've been having money and living high life. They're clearing the board. You guys are being removed. I want you guys to understand that. That's how it's happening. You will never be able to survive this because you've been in debt, personal and business, your whole entire life. You will never survive this, and that's on purpose. You start confusing a lot of slaves. They think what's money and this and that, and then they find out you lose everything. That it's going to reveal that you're just like them. You guys are all slaves. You just don't even know it. Even if you own your own business, doesn't matter. The board is being cleared. This is an this is an employer's market right now. They call the shots. Millions of people are out of work. Millions. This people are looking for jobs. They'll take anything to survive. You have to. It's no choice. You could have this prestige job all this time, and then this market turns around. Now you're delivering packages for Amazon or UPS or something like that in your car. They got these people working on Sundays, holidays, delivering packages on holidays. That should tell you everything you need to know. Everything. Now, you can either Keep selling the time in your life for these peanuts they're paying you, because I don't know how to reiterate this. So I'm gonna make sure you guys understand something, slaves, how they're abusing you. Okay. And it's by choice. You're choosing it. Okay. Let me make sure I'm clear with this. These businesses are not doing anything to you. You're doing it to yourself. Add up all your savings and add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life. That's your net worth. Log into your Credit Karma, click on accounts. I want you to see that large, big number at the top of your screen. That is your net worth. This is why you're selling your holidays, some times that you could be spending with your family and memories and moments that'll never happen again. This is why you can't do it. That number. That's why you can't do it, because that number right there. Hey, check this out. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not. Who cares? I'm telling you the truth. This is why you're selling the time in your life for that. This is why when you go to a job, they can mandate that you demand you work on Saturdays, or demand that you have to work on some type of holiday. You know why they can do that? Because you're in debt. Because if you wasn't in debt and you had a job and they said, hey, we mandate you work at this time or this many overtime hours, you say, hey, no, thank you for telling me ahead of time. I'm not going to be working here. Oh, every other Saturday, we require you to work on a Saturday. I said, no, thank you. Thank you for the offer. Goodbye. Nobody's demanding shit. People on social media, man, they be bragging, oh yeah, man, I'm getting that holiday half time and a half. And you saying that shit out loud in public on social media, telling everybody you're a slave. Everybody. Because you just honestly told yourself, hey, I just sold the time of my life that I could be doing something with my own life today. I sold it for some extra peanuts. When you see that large negative number, that's you. That's why you're working for what you're working for, because you have absolutely no money. You have absolutely no money, none, zero. You have no idea why you have to work on holidays. I went out to eat today, right? Go to this restaurant. This restaurant's about the only one in town open. I'm thinking, damn, I mean, this place is packed. All people like me that kind of wanted to enjoy the holiday, but didn't want to deal with the cooking and the cleanup. So we just go out to eat. And I'm thinking, this place is packed. Millions are out of work. They got plenty of people that can work at this restaurant every single holiday. This restaurant's also open on Christmas to serve Christmas dinner. Those people that got to work there to do that job during the holidays, which I'm sure they'd rather be at home enjoying the same dinner instead of serving it. When I'm in this restaurant, I can't help but that's what I think about. And you know what I also think about? I see some of them. You can see it on their face that you can always tell people that don't want to be there. I mean, this lady was rude at when we was leaving to pay. They leave out, and she was just rude behind the counter. I said to myself, I know why she's mad, because she don't want to be here. That's why she's mad. At first, I was like, oh man, look, she got an attitude. She need to find another job. And then I thought to myself, no, she just like that because she don't want to be here, because she has to be here. That's why she's mad. She don't want to be here, but she believes in her head she has no choice. And I think to myself, man, if I could get just one person, just to listen to what I'm saying, just one person, and say, hey man, you don't have to do this, right? Yeah, I want you to clearly, you're putting yourself here in this restaurant. You. But whenever I think like that, I feel like Morpheus from the Debt Matrix. I do. Excuse me. I feel like Morpheus from the Debt Matrix. I do, man. It's just I don't know. Sometimes things just hit me, out of nowhere. I'll see, just like I was saying. Or no, I don't know if I brought this up, but like your health, right? And I said, if you can't take days off and you're sick, you got to work. Right? It's just like it just seems so. It just seems so obvious, according to the job, you got to have a doctor's note. You only can be out so many days. Like what if, like if you're really sick, do you really feel like proving that you're sick? I mean, straight up. Now, don't get me wrong. I know there's a lot of people out there that fake the shit. Okay, I get it, but say like you really sick. Do you really want to have to prove to a business that you're sick? The majority of you have to do that because you're in debt. That's not normal. You're a grown up. Listen, you're a grown up. Have to ask another grown up for permission to to do something for you. If you're sick, hey, don't. Wouldn't it be nice to say you're sick? You just lay in the bed and you don't get out of bed until you feel better. Wouldn't that be nice? You think you have to be rich to do that? No, you don't. You just got to be out of debt. Financial freedom doesn't mean you're rich. Financial freedom means you're above zero according to the laws of mathematics. According to the laws of mathematics, which I did not create, I didn't write these laws. I wish to God I know who did. But these laws, the laws of mathematics cannot be broken. They cannot. The only way, whenever you decide to break the laws of mathematics, remember this, you're only doing it in your head, which doesn't make it true. Like, if you believe you're a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage, you are breaking the laws of mathematics because that's not true. That's only in your head. What's going on, Nicer, Hellfire, Ill Wills? What's going on? What's happening? You guys all jumping in here. I didn't see I'm talking so long. I didn't see you guys come up in here. Let me go all the way back. What's up, L. Johnson? I don't celebrate holidays. Happy Slaves Giving. That's pretty funny. I'm set apart says I had a discussion today, fam, about debt. I had a discussion today to fam about debt. It got real quiet. You right. Keep it on the hush. Slaves don't want to know they're slaves. They don't. They believe it's normal to work your whole life paying debt. Yes, they do. And I want you guys to understand something. That's conditioning. Okay, what they're doing, that's a program. Okay, I don't know who designed the program, but it is a program. They must believe that 40-hour work weeks. You never once a slave will stop and say, "Hey, who created a 40-hour work week? Who created that?" They don't think like that. They just think that's just part of life. It's crazy, man. Crazy. What's up, son of Israel? Dennis says officially above zero. Thankful for it. You are welcome, Dennis. Congratulations. Welcome to financial freedom. That's all you had to do is get to zero. What's up, Nicer? Ill Will says six figures don't mean you made it. It's a myth for sure. It sure is. That's a myth. Believe that. What's up, reigning woman? You have to be teachable to get out of debt. Some people think they have it figured out already. I know. And so crazy too. Now you got to remember, a slave doesn't know they're a slave. Okay, they don't know. That's just the craziest part when I just think about this. Right? Slaves don't even know they're slaves. It's crazy. It is just absolutely bananas crazy. Sometimes I just, when I was a slave, it's crazy. This is okay. Let me think back. Okay, I'm gonna think back when I was a slave. There was a couple of incidences that popped in my mind because, oh, this is, and I don't know if this happens to any of you guys, but I want you guys to pay close attention to this. Sometimes there's like snapshot moments in your life. There's a certain scene in your life that you just remember. You don't know why you remembered it. You're not trying to remember it. It just happens to be a memory, and you're like, why did I remember that? That doesn't make any sense. Those are there for a reason. Okay. If you ever wake up, you'll know what those things mean. Okay. So I remember one time I was driving in my Lexus, which I was making payments on, right? I pull up to the corner. There's a guy that's homeless, that looks homeless, out on the corner asking for money, and he's homeless. Hey, I need some money for you know how the panhandlers are on the corner, right? And I remember looking at him, and I remember something saying to me just like this. Something said just like this. If I lost my job, I'd be just like him. I'm a job loss away from being him. That's what something in my head said. I'm one job loss away from being him. I knew, even though I made good money, it didn't matter if I was making six figures. I was still one job loss of being him. And then I remember thinking about that, and then I drove off in my car and turned my music back up and went back to putting noise back in my head, drowning out what I just said to myself at that corner. That was a sign to tell me something was wrong. Because if I didn't feel like that, really, that feeling would have never happened. I would never feel like that, because if it didn't exist, I wouldn't feel it. Now you got to remember, I'm a slave. I don't really understand that. I just think it just was a thought in my head, and then it's out of my head. But never once did I think, why did that thought come in my head? Does it make sense? If I would have put two and two together, if I would have trusted mathematics at that moment, it would have answered the question of why I was just one job loss away from being that guy on the corner begging for money. Thank you, Ill Wills. Appreciate it. LJ, I have to send you something later. Corporate BS. Okay. Reigning woman in the house. Ill Will says, yes, sir. They're trying to get people to go in offices, and people are contracting COVID daily in the workplace. Let me say something, okay? This is very important. Okay. And a lot of you slaves ain't going to want to hear this. Okay. You guys are not going to, a lot of you are not even going to believe it. But according to the laws of mathematics, it doesn't matter how you feel about it. If it's mathematically true, it is true. If you add up all your savings and add up all your debt, yes, including your mortgage, student loans, credit card, tickets, child support, IRS debt, whatever, you just stack it all in, and you go savings minus debt equals your net worth. That's going to be a very large negative number. Very large negative number. Now you're going to be thinking, if I'm that deep in debt, how can I put away money for retirement? How can I put money away for some stocks in the stock market? You can't. You see that large negative number? How much can you invest? If that's your net worth, that large negative number, how much can you invest in retirement, stocks and bonds, or land, or whatever you think you're investing in? How can you do that with that much money? You can't. According to the laws of mathematics, you can't. So that means if math is right, you're wrong. You can't. You're probably thinking, then how am I doing it? You're not. That's an illusion. Knowing that you're in the negative, let me tell you something. By being in the negative, you're a slave. So you're going to do whatever is told you're going to do. You guys don't even know that. Slaves don't even know that. You're gonna do whatever you're told. All they got to do, if they want to give everybody the COVID vaccine, all they got to do is, what's different than have to go to when you go to grade school, you have to have shots. Ever since I was growing up, you got to have these shots if you ever want to attend school. They'll just do that with jobs and school and everything. You're gonna take it because you're a slave. If your finances are in the negative, you are what's called an unconscious slave, and you're going to do what you're told because you have to. You don't have any choice. Have you ever, could you just quit your job today? Say like 2020 was rough. Could you just quit your job and chill for a year and come back next year? Probably not. You probably wouldn't even last a month. So think about that. You've been working all your life, but if you lost your job, you'd barely last a month. That doesn't make sense. Something's wrong with that. If you can't quit your job and chill for a year, there's a problem, a big problem. I'm going to tell you something else, okay? And this is very important for you slaves. This is very important. I want you guys to understand something. This is very important. If you're one of those people that have given up on ever paying off your student loans, ever, you're going to be working every holiday, every weekend, every after hour shift, every middle and the night shift, all the shit that people hate, you're going to be working it. You have no choice. You guys don't even realize that's why you're selling your time in your life. That's why you're selling holidays, because you don't have a choice. Well, at least you believe you don't. But if you've given up on ever paying off your student loans, you've given up. You'll never, let me make sure I'm clear with this, okay? You'll never understand this type of freedom because you can't. That's mathematically impossible for you. You can never be free with student loan debt. You'll be working holidays until you're dead. For the peanuts they pay you, double time, time and a half. Oh, you work for this. Who gives it? It doesn't matter. None of that matters. DoorDash is still busy in business today. Is still in business today. You see that? DoorDash is still in business today. What am I telling you? You think these people want to do DoorDash instead of spending time with their family? Do you believe that? You know why most of them can't? They're in debt. Debt makes you do stuff like that. Nicer says debt free equal ain't doing nothing but pigging out right today, right? That's it. Just eating. Eating, enjoying time with my family, doing whatever oh man. What's up, Hellfighter? What's up, Ameezy? Retired says LJ, I was about to apply for a part-time job with Amazon when I realized that working for $15 an hour, carrying 50 pounds wasn't worth it. Freedom is priceless. It's totally priceless, man. That's why I say this is an employer's market. I had something being delivered the other day, right? It was coming by UPS, right? For the first time, somebody dropped it off in a car, right? And I was like, okay, that was kind of weird, but I was like, okay, maybe they had somebody run something over to me, right? I was like, okay, cool, or whatever. Right? Then I had another UPS package, and it was another person, the same lady in her regular car. I said, damn, UPS is copying they're copying Amazon now. You guys, I hope you guys see it. I don't know if you guys see it, but these big businesses got regular everyday people delivering their shit. That's why they can get it to you in an hour, next day. Why is that? Because this is their market right now. I bet you couldn't just sign up to be an Amazon driver and get a job the next day. Guarantee you couldn't. Guarantee you. I bet you that wait is so long. DoorDash, all these delivery companies, all tied up. I bet you it's long. And just imagine this. Imagine if you get the one of those types of jobs, you know you're disposable. You know you are. So imagine how much ass you got to kiss because you got to know you are disposable. And because they know you're disposable, they can just get rid of you. There's about 10 fucking million people waiting to get that DoorDash job. Zero in 401k. Believe that. Well, I worked today, time and a half, paying off my home project before. See, and that's different. You're there for a reason because you're about to make the big play with a paid off home. You're gonna be chilling. That's for a purpose. You're a conscious slave paying off a house. I'm jealous, man. Son of is. I'm usually fine working holidays as long as I get my days I want off. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'd say like this. The only thing I can tell you, I can't explain what it's like to have quit a perfectly good job. Now I understand why. The only way I was going to feel true freedom is you can't have a job to ever own because my goal right now, you guys don't know, but most of you guys don't know, the only goal I have in my life is to own the time in my life, 100% of it. That's my only goal. So whatever it takes me to do to reach that goal, that's what I do. People aren't willing to put the work to become debt free. Nope. What's up, Leroy? That's true. Pastor LJ, huh? Preaching the laws of debt. Look at that. Doing Uber and Lyft today. Man, you guys think it's gonna get better? No, it's about to get worse. You guys don't even, hey, this is just my opinion, okay? This is just my opinion. I'm just telling you what I see. They're clearing the board, getting rid of all the small people that have been in running business in debt. You guys are about to get cleared off the board. Now the big monster companies, they're just going to take over. Those jobs that you used to have making all that money before that, those days are done. At least for a few years, those are done. Because there's millions of people out of work. There's millions of highly skilled people out of work that will take way less money than you because they're in debt. Good luck. Now they get to have, check this out, these companies, they get to have all these employees that are really not employees. They're contractors. So they don't have to pay your insurance. They don't have to bother with your taxes. They can pay you on a daily basis. Don't matter. All that stuff is up to you now. And guess who else is going to make a lot of money? The IRS. They're going to make a ton of money. Because people that come from W-2s, they don't understand how taxes work. Check this out. They don't know how taxes work. So now when they get their job, they get kicked out from their job, then they go do a contractor job. Now you're responsible for your own shit. Now, if you give a slave all their money without taxes being paid out, guess what they're going to do? They're going to keep it. And then they're going to start thinking shit like, oh, it's just me. I'm small. They're not going to really care about me. Okay, slave. All right. You keep thinking like that. And this is what they're going to do. Okay. Because everybody that come out to W-2, you're going to have some hiccups. Okay. For the first year, you ain't going to do your taxes right. You're going to mess up. It just happens. Okay. But I promise you this. Okay. People in debt don't know they're in debt. You guys have a pattern. You guys don't trust math, and you don't even know you don't trust math. So the difference between somebody messing up on their taxes that understand math that are not in debt compared to a slave that's in debt, that don't understand math, that's a whole world different. So you guys are obvious to see. They're gonna let you bury yourself for about 3 years, and then they're gonna come knocking on the door and say, hey, you owe us money. Now remember, they already know everything. Okay, that's why they're coming to you. See, people in debt, they don't really understand that. They think audits are random. No, that's not. They already know everything. They already know you're gonna lie. All they gotta do is look at the math. They already know you're gonna lie because there is no way you could do this without doing something else. That's why they're coming to you. You think they're just randomly, hey, just to see if you're doing it right? No. You tell them, check this out. You tell them to come to you. You do. You are the ones that say, hey, IRS, will you come visit me, please? Hell, Jay just got done being some of your last vids. The Parent Plus vid was close to my heart. Cool. Oh, what's up, Ken, man? Hey, yeah, I gotta talk to you too, man. So figure out what we're gonna do with that for sure, because I don't want to miss that. What's up, Underground? What's up, Nick? What's up, Tomkin 82? What's going on? What's up, Wayman? Wayman says, LJ, I certainly understand people trade their time at jobs often for money that they need to get out of debt. But I'm grateful that doctors who are in debt are working today in case I need to go to the ER. And that's true. But you know what I say at the same time, Wayman? This is what I really think about. How many doctors would still be doctors if they didn't have student loan debt? Like if somebody swooped in and said, hey man, I'm gonna pay off all your student loan debt. I wonder how many would remain doctors. Because you got to remember, just like any job, it's really no different. People think just because they're a doctor and they went to school all them years that they can't reach that point and say, I really don't like this shit. Now I'm stuck. You know, people don't really think about that. And this is what makes me nervous. What if you come across a doctor that just don't want to be there? That means he's not there because his heart is there. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's not there because that's what he enjoys. That's now how do you find a doctor like that? I'm gonna give you guys the answer. And I know nobody's ever asked a doctor this, but you come across a doctor, you say, hey man, are you still paying on your student loans? You ask them that. You still paying on your student loans? Now, I'm not saying I'm 100% sure that that's the case for that, but still, it just makes okay, man. Damn, you've been a doctor how long? 30 years? You've had your student loans for that long? That kind of shit makes me nervous. Then corruption happens. Then the pharmaceutical companies come in with their billions of dollars and say, hey man, you push this, man, and we'll pay you this, and it's all legal. I'm not knocking for what. Now, please understand something. When I say that kind of stuff, I'm not knocking the system, because if it's legal, it's legal. Okay. They come in and say, hey, you push this, you get this kickback. I don't know how that works, but it seems like it makes sense to me. Then you got a doctor that's deep in student loan, then you be like, oh man, that's all I got to do is just promote this drug. Yeah, that's all you got to do. Okay. And then they just do it. They don't like math. That's why you get people out here saying math is I've never heard anybody say that. Has somebody said math is racist? I have never heard that. I've never heard somebody call math racist. Huh. You're saying it's better to pay off debt than file bankruptcy? No, I'm saying if you bankruptcy is a tool. All I'm saying, you gotta if you're filing bankruptcy, you gotta understand that bankruptcy is a tool. They're slaves all the time, filing Chapter 7 bankruptcy all the time. They don't know what they just done. They get right back into debt. So it really doesn't matter. Sure are selling them. What's good, Eric? We'll see. Shout out to Ronald for the $2 super chat. Thank you, sir. Student loan debt and now a contract job. Ouch. Yep. Can you imagine? Slaves already, check this out. Slaves already believe taxes are the things that's keeping them down. They already believe that. They already believe that. So when they go and get a 1099 contract job, they're not going to pay their taxes. That is so obvious. They're not going to pay their taxes. They're not going to pay it. You got some of these drivers they work on a daily basis, right? They get paid on a daily basis. And then you got these apps. Oh man, they do slaves so dirty. Then they got these apps called the earning app, right? Where they'll pay you faster than the daily time. I don't know how that shit works, right? They'll pay you, but of course for a fee. So not only are they not getting all of their money, they're not going to be paying their taxes. They're going to say, "Oh, I'll pay it later. I'll catch up," or something. They'll start doing, and then they'll get you. This is what happens. Then they'll get used to their checks without paying taxes. They'll adjust their lifestyle according to how much money they're getting without taxes being taken out. That's what's going to happen. This is easy to see, you guys. This is easy to see. And it goes back to the title of this video. That's why you will be working every single holiday. You will. You'll be working at 7-Eleven on Christmas. Sure will. You sure will. You'll be delivering packages on Christmas Day. You don't think these big corporations understand this? This is what the people want. People that get deliveries, they don't really care what day it is, as long as it gets there. They just need people that's going to work on the holidays, that's going to deliver on those holidays. And guess who's going to do it? Slaves are going to do that. And the big corporations they're not responsible for anything. They can let you go anytime they want. They're not responsible for any of your paperwork, all your insurance and taxes. All that is up to you. All they got to do is just make the money and report what they pay you. That's it. Just report what they pay you. The rest is up to you. You know how much money they're going to make off of IRS penalties and fees? You know how much money they're going to make off? They're going to make they're going to have you. That's IRS debt they're the only one that tops student loan debt. And the reason why that is because you can go to prison. Okay, that's the difference. You can't go to prison for student loan debt. By IRS debt, you can, and they got the same, if not worse, interest fees and all this other stuff. Man, can you believe there's some people out there making IRS payments and car payments at the same time? If you're making payments to the IRS and you also got a car payment, you are fucking up big time. You guys don't even get it. I know if you're a person right now doing that and you think it's normal, no, it's not. No, it's not. Cost of living ain't going down. Only human behavior with looming depression ahead. Sure is. Oh, the worst ain't came here yet. It ain't got here. LJ, I've been retired for a year and slaves keep asking, what am I doing with my free time? I want to say I'm doing whatever the hell I want. I know they won't understand that because slaves think you got to be going somewhere. You got to be going to Hawaii. You got to be taking these trips. They don't. What are you doing? Man, I'm just chilling at home. They'll think that shit is weird. How come you just want to stay home? Because it's peaceful. What's up, Pedro? Now, if somebody out there want to ask me a question, okay, here's the link. You can ask me a question. I don't think there are that many people waking up to debt, though. Just a minority said, "Oh yeah, it's not. Nobody's waking up to debt, especially right now. They can't. How hard times are right now. You going up to a slave and say, "Hey, man, I know things are hard. You barely can find a job, but I think the answer is getting out of debt." They're not going to hear you for a million. You could be yelling in their ear. They're not hearing a word you're saying. And it's valid. I get it, man. If I was in this situation and I was in debt and I just lost my job, and then somebody said, "Hey, man, the answer is to get out of debt," and I wouldn't hear them. What's up, Omega Dreads? What's going on? Speaking of that, next year is going to be funny for the OnlyFans users in tax season. Yes, they are. It's going to be real funny. Believe that. Imagine how many people that use Cash App don't don't think that's being don't think that's being watched. Oh man, we just passing money back and forth, whatever. Okay, whatever. Whatever you say. Whatever you say. You think you're using these Cash App things, okay? These Cash Apps, and you think nothing is being recorded and followed, or you got to be insane to think that. And I want to tell you something. Only a slave would ever think that. Only a slave would pass a bunch of money through their Cash App under their name and social security number and bank or whatever, right? Only a slave would think it's not being followed or watched or whatever. All that counts. Anything I use with money, banking, all of that's included in my tax information, all of it. Did you make money on YouTube? Yep. I made money on YouTube. They sent me this. Yeah, I use the Cash App. Here's the list. This is all my transactions. All of it. Here you go. Because people that trust mathematics understand that. Oh yeah, my math will always add up. Here you go. And even if you got to understand something. Even if there was a mistake, you can clearly see when it's a mathematical mistake compared to a lie. Yes, they are. But it's life lessons, they will learn to report to IRS properly. Yep. Get out if debt. Yeah. You better do it properly. Once you get out of debt, you got to understand something. Once you get out of debt, you'll understand why the tax system is in place. You will get why it's there. Because if the tax system is the backbone of our whole economy, that's the backbone. If it wasn't there, people would not participate unless forced. If the IRS said, "Hey, you pay your taxes if you just feel like it," no, you won't go. You won't get in trouble. Just pay them on your own. Nobody would do it. Because you got to remember, slaves believe taxes are the very reason why they can't get ahead. Taxes are too high. You see it on the news every day. Oh my God, taxes are driving us out of here. No, how much debt are you in? Your debt is driving you out of there, not taxes. What's up, Akun? Welcome. What's up, Andre? It's getting whew, man, you could just when you're on the outside looking in, slaves, I'm telling you, on the outside looking in, you could just see where it's going, man. You could just see it. And you know, so crazy. I'm seeing houses get thrown up like they're nothing. I'm just like, wait a minute, okay, that doesn't make sense. Our economy's about to go to shit, and you guys are putting up whole communities. I mean, you guys don't even get. It seemed like since this, like where I live in South Carolina, I mean, it looked like somebody pushed the fast button on putting up these communities. Like they're accelerating. I'll drive by a piece of land one day. Next day, I'll come by. Every single tree on the piece of land has been cut down and removed. That means they've been working on that shit for like 24 hours a day. accelerated. You know what they're doing? And this is just my conclusion, okay? They're locking slaves into the housing prices of today, because I'm assuming those projects were already scheduled, because you know they can't get permits and all that shit that fast. So that had to been already scheduled. They like speeding it up now. They're trying to get them up, lock slaves into the housing market prices of today. So next year when it crashes, or the year after that it crashes, guess what? Slaves are still making on the payments of how much that house was valued today. And just think, slave, when you go out there and you get that house, you go out and finance that house with your subprime mortgage, and the housing market crashes, and you're going to still be making the same $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 a month payments, still be making the same payment. Guess what? You're never going to be able to spend Thanksgiving in that house because you're going to be working. You'll never have Christmas in that house because you ain't going to be there. You'll be at work. You'll be either delivering packages, or you'll be at your job right now working on the weekend because you got debt. You won't even get to. Can you imagine how many people got houses calling themselves homeowners, and they're at work more than they're in their own house? That doesn't even wake people up. People got a nice house, and those of you guys that are listening to me now, you probably got a nice house, and you're at work on Thanksgiving. Boy, and if you got a nice house and you're gonna be at work on Christmas, that should be the biggest red flag you've ever. That should be brighter than the sun. That should be brighter than the sun. That red flag will be hot. Should tell you something's financially wrong here. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well, it says people are moving from one state to the other for tax relief, not realizing they brought the debt over to the next state. Don't even realize it. They don't even realize it. Don't matter. It don't matter what state you go to. Debt is yours. It doesn't. What people think it stops across the state lines? No, it's yours. Like here, let me give you an example. If you live in Washington State, right? I want you to log into your Credit Karma in Washington State. Okay, go see that number. All right, now drive down to California and then log into your Credit Karma and see that number. Is it still the same? Yeah, it's the same. It ain't going nowhere. You slaves are, man. Oh, and let me tell you guys something. Something that I wanted to tell the SMD family too. Right? I was watching. I like Dave Chappelle not only for his comedy, but it's clear that Dave Chappelle is awake. Okay, not many people understand how Dave Chappelle ties in his consciousness into his jokes. A lot of people don't get it, but the way he's mastered that is absolutely amazing. He has mastered that. Okay, but this was one of his serious talks, right? He told me one time he said he was when he was young, he came across this 3-card money game, and he thought it was a trick, and he was going to expose the dude because everybody around the whole crowd was working with him to get the 3-card money game going, and blah blah blah, right? And then all of a sudden, when the dude did it one time, he said he got up and yelled. He's like, "Hey, this is a lie. This is fake," or whatever, right? He said the dude came up and hemmed him up because he's a young kid. He said, picked him up, and he said he looked in the dude's eyes, and the dude saw fear in his eyes, right? Like he was scared to shitless, right? And then I guess he said the dude saw so much fear in Chappelle's eyes that he stopped. He was like, he changed. He said his whole attitude changed, right? And then he tells Chappelle, he says, "Hey, man, never get in front of a man and his food," or something like that, right? Like, he was out there making a living, and here's a person trying to mess that up for him, right? He wasn't doing anything illegal. He was just doing something to make some money. And that was his thing, right? Period. Right. So it made me think. I said, you know what? I've been doing reviews on people's videos, right? And whatever they're doing is legal. Okay, it's not usually when I do reviews on their channels, they're not doing anything illegal that I know of, right? They're not saying it in this video, and I'm just going by what I'm seeing on the video. Whatever these videos that I see, they're not doing anything illegal in there. So me coming in and trying to point out mathematical errors, it's kind of like I'm trying to take food from their mouth. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I come across a video that's just straight up lies, that's different, right? But when I come across a video that is doing legal stuff, I gotta just, you know what? I might read an article, but I'm just not gonna do any on people's videos like that anymore because it's just that was powerful when I heard Dave say that. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you guys are hearing what I'm saying. If you've been yep, you're right. I'm set apart. Live at work, just sleep at the house, the bank's house. Don't even know it, man. Slaves say math is racist because they don't want to handle their debt. Sure don't. I don't know how, math is feelingless, right? It doesn't matter how you feel about math, it's just math, right? So when you hear people say things like good debt, bad debt, math is racist, you got to remember those are people's feelings. Whenever I hear somebody say, "Hey LJ, do you think this is good debt?" I was like, "There's no good debt. There's just debt. No, tell me about the debt you're about to tell me about." Because you got to remember when somebody calls it good, it's good to who? It can only be good to them because their own finances are the only ones they truly know about. So whenever somebody says that's good debt, they only can be talking about themselves. They believe it's good. Because you might ask another person, "Hey man, do you think a house is an asset if you have a mortgage?" They'd be like, "Nah, that's bad debt, man." See what I'm saying? But a slave will call their house an asset when they have a 30-year mortgage on it. That doesn't even make any sense. But if they go and telling other slaves, yeah, that's what's considered an asset, other slaves are going to believe the same thing. Hence why the majority of people got mortgages, because they believe a house is an asset with a 30-year mortgage. Don't even realize that they're not spending any holidays in it. They're not even spending, they can't even afford to spend the holidays in their so-called asset. And it's going to get way worse, man. Because check this out. When you're 1099, there's no more holiday pay. There's no more of that. No more extended weekends. Hey, we got Monday off too. It's a holiday that will no longer apply to you. Gone are the days of paid holidays when some of you guys that got you got off on Christmas and you didn't have to work on Christmas, but you got paid. Those days are gone. Those days are gone. I bet you the people that got to work every holiday right now, because believe it or not, there's some people out there that have to work every holiday. They probably don't think the same way. They don't think the same way about holidays as the majority of people that take them off, because they always got to work holidays, so they don't think that shit's a big deal. That's how you'll be thinking pretty soon. This is an employer's market right now, and it's going to be that way for a very long time. Right now, and you're probably thinking, what am I going to do? You're going to have to wake up. You're gonna have to be willing to risk to what it takes to become free, just like I did. You're gonna have to do it. What's up, Daddy O? What's going on, man? Welcome back.
What's good, player? What's good with you, man?
I'm good. Thank you for jumping on again, man. Appreciate it. What's up?
Thank you. Great shout out, man. Great stream. I didn't want to leave you hanging. You're asking, are we listening? We're right here. We're your soldiers. You're my uncle. I call you Uncle LJ. I'm trying to spread the word.
I get a lot of that. I get a lot of uncle. I do.
Yeah.
That's a privilege, man. I appreciate it.
You know what? I was looking in your history, and man, you've been doing YouTube for a long time, and I love how you started off with just bodybuilding and healthy eating, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? Look, LJ, man, I'm thinking about playing stocks, man. Do you have like a maximum? It's kind of like going to the casino or playing a lottery. I'm sure you don't recommend that. It's a loss of money, but can I just put like 2,000-3,000 a year in the stock market and just as a hobby? Does that make sense?
Yeah, if you had it, sure.
If I add it to my debt?
No, I said if you had it. I know. I said if you had HAD
Oh.
had.
I see. Okay. So you're not against the stock market?
Well, you got to stop. First of all, you got to stop talking about it like you have a choice to do it. You're talking like you have a choice to, hey man, should I try the stocks? I'm like, you got to stop talking like you have a choice. You don't have a choice. Why even entertain it if you don't even have a choice to do it?
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
It's all about the way you speak. If you want to, I'm telling you, man, if you want to become rich, you got to listen to the way you speak. If you just listen to yourself, just like what you're saying to me now, hey man, shouldn't I just try to start? That's not even an option.
There you go.
See what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And great talk, man. Really great talk. I came on to ask you a quick little question, bro. Like, I love how you talk about we have to be aliens, right? And be in the shadows. Right?
No, we don't have to be in the shadows. We can be in the open. You just can't pull your mask down. I
see. I see. But I guess the reason I came on is Facebook's been on for 20 years, right? Instagram's been on for 20 years. We're looking at we wake up in the morning and a very bad habit is to grab your cell phone, right? And then look at somebody else who's on vacation or look at somebody else who, bought a new car, who's living lavishly. And I mean, I get it. We have to cure or, what is it? Sting yourself. You know what I mean? Get that injection and stop that poison. But I guess my question is, are the slaves ever going to wake up? You know what I mean? You got an Escalade, 2 mortgages. You keep saying that what is that, school debt, right?
Yeah.
And then God forbid you get inheritance, right? You get your inheritance, you got your own kids. I mean, chances are you're just gonna blow that money, right?
Correct.
But once you blow that, right, and you're still in debt. I've lived it, right? You easy money, you clear all your credit cards, and then within 6 months they're all loaded up again, right? So I mean, do they ever wake up? That's the question. Or does it hit them, but they just don't know how to get out, so they'll never admit to the truth?
Well, yes, they wake. I know they wake up because I did. Because I was them. You know how difficult a pill it is to swallow, that the whole time you've been doing it wrong and all you had to do was use the math that we learned as a kid. That's a tough pill to swallow, man. That took me a long time to swallow that pill. Because I was a college educated 6-figure earner, man. That was a hard pill to swallow.
Could imagine. Absolutely. LJ, don't you feel like going back just for a year or two? I mean,
going back where?
I feel like cussing, man.
Well, you mean go back? What do you mean go back a year or two? Oh, just to look at things?
Think about it, LJ. Let's just round up some numbers, right? You go back to work full time for, let's say, 2 years, and you're able to put away, I don't know, 25%, 30% of that, wouldn't that be like a quick jump to like pay off your your mortgage and set off your retirement well off? Like, is those 2 years, is that a good sacrifice? That's my question.
Okay, let me explain to you what you're saying, okay? Because you don't really know what you're saying. So once you quit your job, you'll experience a freedom that you never ever felt. I've never felt this type of freedom in my life because I've always had a job.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what it was like. It took me a year to break the 40-hour work week habit. So now, because now today, 40-hour work weeks, Saturdays and Sundays, holiday pay, this and that, that's no longer part of my life. Saturday and Sunday are not
Right.
special days. They're just days of the week. Now, to me, going back to get a job, I'm signing some papers that I'm telling the job, I'm saying, hey, I'm going to sell you 40 hours a week out of my life for these peanuts that you're about to pay me for it. About to pay me peanuts, because trust me, it's peanuts. I promise you. But if you had a job all your life, you can never. The best way I can explain it is that you'll never be able to feel what I'm feeling because you can't have a job to feel it.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So going back to a 40-hour work week job to stack 2 years to get some money to pay for a house, that sounds like 2 years of prison. For a house? Nah, man, I'll rent.
Is that part of greed somewhere?
What?
For me to think that way. Is that greedy?
No, not greed. You just believe that's the only way you're gonna be able to get a house is by doing what you just described to me.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's not greed. No, for wanting to do that, yeah, that's cool. But the way you're going about doing it, you believe that's the only way you're gonna be able to do it, and that's not true. All you gotta do is believe in yourself, and you'll figure it out.
LJ, man, I'm gonna do that consultation, right? Don't get me wrong, but man, I mean, bro, I used to work 2 jobs, man. Anybody in the chat room working 2 jobs right now? Put a 1 in the chat.
people be bragging about having 2 and 3 jobs. I'm like, that ain't nothing to brag about. I've always thought like that all my whole life. Okay, but people will brag about having multiple jobs and like, yeah, I got 2 and 3 jobs. Be like, I don't want that. I don't even want one job.
But I mean, that's all I know, and unfortunately, you feel
that's
me?
a program.
Cognitive dissonance.
You've been conditioned to think like that.
Yes, sir. Woo. Man, oh man, and it's crazy. This time of the year, it's funny. I used to love this time of the year because, like you said, there was overtime. People are gone on vacation. Yeah, and I would go to the what do you call it? I would go to the big stores, get some PlayStations, get Xboxes, and flip them. Right, wait till 24 hours right before Christmas. Right, add an extra $100, $200 to that. Right, but all that money I made, easy made, easy spent. Right. Yep. Never I thought about putting that back into a 401k or anything.
What you were doing. That was the right thing to do because you can do that all day, every day. Once you get out of debt, that's clear. You'll be able to see because slaves will pay for anything. They'll overpay for anything. And so you can just do that with iPhones, PlayStations, anything that the big boys are giving you a heads up. When they say, hey, the new Note 20 is coming out. If you got money to go buy about 5 or 6 of them cash, 7 of them. Buy them in cash, and then when they run out, like they always do, hey, we ran out of supply, and then that's when you come in and just double the price. They do it every year.
Man, wow,
they do it every
year. That's true too, eh? That's real talk. It comes back. The same thing comes back every year.
You see how long Apple been selling iPhones? What the fuck are you guys still running out of phones for? You guys know exactly how many phones you're gonna sell. You know what I'm saying? But they do that on purpose.
It's so true.
They do that on purpose.
That is so true. Wow. Yeah, you just buy and flip.
Buy and flip. But you got to get out of debt to see. And once you get out of debt, you'll see the true purpose of taxes anywhere. It doesn't matter in Canada, here, it doesn't matter. You'll understand the true purpose of taxes but you got to get out of debt. You can't see it while you're in debt. There's something, put it this way. When you see taxes the way, because right now you look at taxes as bad, this is, they're too high here, blah, blah, blah. Only slaves look at taxes like that. Taxes are not good or bad. They're just taxes.
Correct.
That's it. They're just taxes.
Mm-hmm.
They only favor those who trust mathematics.
And you talk about that during the consult?
Yeah, I talk about a lot of stuff. First I hear your full story, and then I can tell. Then we go from there, because once I hear you tell me about your finances, I know exactly what to say to you.
To see where I'm at. I see. Perfect. Okay, cool.
Each person is different.
Exactly. And I totally understand the whole concept of you have your own personal revenue, then you have your side business, and you make your revenue, you pay taxes, then your expenses, and it's just a game. You try to stay under bracket technically. But
I
you gotta learn, man.
It's like this though. I could look at say like you own the business, okay? All I would have to do is look at your personal credit report, and I would know everything I need to know about the finances of your business. I wouldn't even have to know what you did. I would know everything about your finances of your business by looking at your personal credit report, because your personal credit report will tell me everything you know about finances.
Correct. That's when I got hooked onto you. Actually, you had that episode when you spoke about when you went for employment and they asked to see your credit report, right? And I love your vocabulary. Oh, my credit score is. Yeah, that's not what I asked you for.
Exactly. That's not what I asked you for.
That's not what I asked you for. Up in Canada, I was working as a maintenance man, and to sweep a mop inside a bank, I had to go through a credit check. A credit check. Like, they don't play, man. Empty out the garbages, right? Empty out the garbages, dust, do some windows. I have to go through a credit check. It's insane.
Yeah. They want to see how much debt you're in, because if you're in deep debt, you're susceptible to corruption. So if money's put in your face and you're deep in debt, the likelihood of you probably trying to steal that money is high. It's not saying that you're going to, like you're gonna, it's guaranteed, but it's high. So if they can come across a person that got no debt, the likelihood of them stealing money is low.
Okay. Now let me throw you a curveball, if I may, and you don't have to answer it.
Yeah.
So how when you go for a mortgage, right, or any institution, like you always preach bring your cash instead of letting your credit talk for you, or just bring your cash because it's the cheapest way to go, right?
Where you going?
I'm going towards early retirement. Okay. No, I'm just saying how would you switch this now? I mean, if I have bad credit, but I have cash, for example, right? And like I said, I could go get a car or a house, but I mean, I'm really literally screwed in regards to working in a financial establishment. Is that correct?
Yes.
In that case, would you recommend a secured credit card? Drum roll.
No, secured credit cards are for slaves.
I hear you, but like, it's just a curveball, right? I need good credit. I need good credit to get a job. You feel me?
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you something.
Yes, sir.
Your credit score is used when you want to try to buy something, right? Okay. Why would your job, if your job is paying you, why would your job care about your credit score?
Okay, I see.
They just want to know how much debt they want to see your credit so they can see how much debt you're in. That will tell them by knowing how much debt you're in, that will tell them how much they can pay you. How much you will accept, because they'll just look at it. If you're in bad shape, you're going to accept anything they offer you as pay.
Wow. Okay. So now I understand the game. Okay, now I'm starting to understand the game.
Anything you catch with finances that don't make sense, you got to look at it. You got to think to yourself, why would a job want to know my credit score? They don't. They just want to see your entire credit report.
Excellent. Don't worry, retired 2019. I'm getting that. I'm getting the consult, bro. Don't worry about it. I'm getting it. But you don't mind me just, throwing these questions at you, do you?
No, that's why I come on here. That's why I answer them for free. That's why I jump on here.
Okay.
That's the only time I answer
It's,
questions like that for free.
it's starting to make sense now. But okay, so let me throw another curveball. And like I said, you don't have to answer this. But
Mhm.
I get a nice car.
How do you get it?
It's a I purchased. I purchased, a
No, how'd you
car
purchase it? How did you purchase it?
cash. I
Okay,
paid out front,
you buy a
but
car
it's a
cash. Okay, go ahead.
but it's a
Mhm.
depreciating asset.
Okay. Well, you're using
But
your
it's a,
words wrong. A car is not an asset.
okay, I see.
And yes,
Even if I own it,
a car depreciates. Yes, doesn't matter if you own it or not. It just depreciates.
shoot. Okay. So
But
my assets are, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
your what?
I'll say my assets are really numbered then. I should really Google assets and like there's
Oh,
not too
you
many
don't have
things that are
any
considered
assets. You don't
assets.
have any assets. You keep using the word asset when you don't have any.
Correct, correct.
See what I'm saying? This is
Yes, sir.
why I'm telling you. This is when you become debt free. The language is different because when you're in debt, you don't know how you're using words. Just like you asked me, should I invest in the stock market? Blah blah blah. Well, you don't even have any money, so why are you even talking about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or and then when you say, "Hey, my car is an asset," a car's not an asset. An asset is something that pays you. Your car's paying you.
Right.
See, but you don't know how you're
Mm-hmm.
using those words, so you gotta be careful.
Correct, correct.
Mhm.
I see. All right. The hustle is real, man.
It's not, and check it out. What I'm telling you is not even a hustle. All I'm doing is following the math that I learned in grade school, and I never deviate from it. Because anything outside of this math, if somebody says, "Oh well, I'm gonna still invest," then they're wrong because that's math said you can't do that. So, but if you decide you're gonna do it, I guess you're just wrong. It doesn't matter.
Mm. Just digging our head in the sand, huh?
That's a program though, because we need more slaves than not. We need people to finance cars. We need people to invest when they have no money. We need people to continue financing phones.
Right.
We need that. That's important. We need people to call cars assets. That's important.
Right.
That's
Even
very
if
important. That
even
we
if
need the
even if
majority
the
of people to believe that a car is an asset, even even when they finance it.
yeah, it's the worst.
Some people will call a car an asset even when they pay, excuse me, even when they pay cash, they think it's still an asset. It's not an asset.
Okay, so let me ask you a question now.
Mhm.
I buy my car flat out, okay, $5,000, and I use it to do Amazon deliveries, right?
Yep, I'm listening.
Now, has it become an asset once I've refunded the whole 5,000 plus the insurance and all the gases I put in it? Once
Whose
all of
name
that has been
whose name would the car be under?
me,
Wrong. You're doing it wrong.
all right, that'd be business, man. Okay,
Correct.
I gotta let
Now,
you go, man.
if you that's why I asked whose name would the car be under. If you would have said daddy-o.company, I would have said you're doing it right. Now it's an asset. Yes.
There you go. All right, awesome. I'm learning, man.
You're getting there. You're asking the right questions.
So let me ask. So once I do the consult, it's over. There's no more logging in asking you questions.
No, once we talk, I'm offer you the different kind of packages that I'm going to offer you, and then we're going to go from there. Because during that consult, you can ask me questions. Maybe you just want to know something and do it yourself. It's all up to you, right? But if you
Hmm.
want me to do something for you, and I'm say, okay, these are the packages I have to offer you.
I see. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And then you can listen to me, and we'll go into detail of actually what I do in detail, and then you'll determine if my services are for you or not. That's all.
Interesting. All right. Cool.
Hmm.
Perfect. Man, I appreciate you. Keep doing what
You're
you do. All
welcome.
right.
You're welcome, man. Thank you for jumping on again. Appreciate it.
Always, man. Keep doing what you do, man. Be good.
All right. Cool.
Bye.
Later. Good questions. Good question. What's up, Calvin S? I hope you guys in the background are listening, man. Financial freedom doesn't mean you have to be rich. Financial freedom means all you got to be is north of zero, zero or zero and north. I don't want to forget about zero. Nobody's nope. You ever notice how many people, how many slaves don't start with zero? Zero's a number, yet people always forget it. What's zero? Oh man, zero's bad. No, zero's very good because all you got to do is get to zero. Once you get to zero, you are financially free. Financially free. Once you get to zero, your whole life is going to change. Once you get to zero, you will no longer be working holidays. You won't care how much they're paying you. If they hey, we're gonna offer you triple time, you're gonna say, hell no. Keep those peanuts. Believe that. Once you get north of zero, you're gonna know time is the most valuable thing on earth. Time. You will no longer have to lie to your children to why you missed the game because of work overran or because your boss wanted this, so you had to do that. That will never happen again. You will never, ever, ever miss another one of your child's events at school. It won't matter what time of the day it is. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 10 o'clock in the morning, you won't give a shit. You'll be there. That's how it works. You won't work at a place that wouldn't allow you. You would come on the job and say, hey, yeah, by the way, I have children. So events come up and I don't miss them. So is there a way I can work out, And they say, yeah, sure. Especially if you're that good, they'll work. If you're really good at what you do, you'll be able to do things like that. I promise you, without question. Your whole life will change. You'll never like the parents that come up to little Johnny and say, hey, little Johnny, I make it up to you. I missed your game. You're lying to your kid right to their face. You're lying because you got a time machine? You got a time machine, something? You're going to go back in time and go back to that game? That game's gone forever. You're not going to be able to go to another one of their games until the following year when they're a year older. Yep, you missed it. You were at work. And this is a little bit on I don't really talk about this too much, but it's just coming to me. I usually talk about this type of stuff when it comes to dating minus debt. Okay. But when you get out of debt, you won't have children by people in debt. You know how they always say money is the number one reason for divorce? No, it's not. It's debt. It's not money. It's debt. I've never heard of a woman divorcing her husband because he kept putting too much money in her bank account. Oh, he keeps overstuffing my purse. Every time I walk around, I'm stepping on money. It's just littering the house. I've never heard that in my life ever. It's debt. Then, because when you get tied in debt, then people don't understand this. Two slaves get together that are deep in debt. Now they're both gone to work. Then they have a child, but they're spending most of their time at work because they have to be there in their debt. Next thing you know, hey, we don't spend another time together. Then they get a divorce. Guess what? Now you gotta split the kids and all that stupid nonsense, court and lawyers and all that bullshit. All that shit. If you ever been standing in court and just like, man, I shouldn't even be here. You're right. You messed up by having a child by somebody in debt. Now you got to miss the holidays, either because you got to work or because it's not your weekend, all that stupid bullshit. And the reason why you hear that in my voice right now, because I've been through that. And now that I'm out of debt, I can see it clear as day. I didn't even have to be in it. I didn't have to be involved in any of that. None of it. Now you really got to work on weekends. Student loan, high child support, court fees, and lawyer. Now you ain't got no choice but to work every single holiday, all because you're in debt. It's priceless, man. You can't. I'm telling you, you can't. I don't know how to explain it to you. Having a job sounds like prison to me. Having a job would be my absolute last resort. I couldn't even imagine have to get to bed early so I can get in the car. Got to get up, fix my breakfast, get in the car. Who knows how many miles I got to drive in traffic every single day to spend at least because I got to get up because I don't want to get up, but I got to get up because of the job. So that's an hour, and then that's an hour in traffic or whatever. That's like 2 hours back, 4 hours total. To going someplace I don't even want to go. Oh no, man, no. I remember sitting in traffic thinking I couldn't do nothing about it. I thought, yeah, man, this is just part of life. Traffic is part of life. Traffic is traffic. 5 o'clock traffic. Oh my God. I can't believe that. They had me trained good. They had me programmed good, man. I almost gave up, man. I almost thought that was it. I almost thought that was life. They almost got me. They almost got me. I'm not afraid to admit it. They almost got me. Almost got me. Cosmo says, man, LJ can tell you some man, LJ Andre can tell you some people will starting funding accounts their unborn kids even before they conceive. It's not an option. Wow. That's crazy. Crazy, crazy. People that understand money. Convertible term. Whatever the fuck that means. See what I'm saying? You guys got it. You guys, hey, I know you guys hear me on this mic, man. I'm still crawling. Okay, I ain't afraid to say it. There's people way more advanced than me. Okay, I'm not even saying I'm advanced. I'm just saying I'm over zero. But okay, I'm not crawling. I'm still not steady on my feet. It sounds like a nightmare having a job dealt with that for 15 years. It sounds like a nightmare, man. And if you've ever tasted freedom, and I always like to repeat this so you guys can understand something. It took me a year to break the 40-hour work week program. It took me a year to break it. I swear to God, it felt like I was coming off a crack. I was going through emotions. Oh man, I ain't worked in a few months. That's going to be a big gap on my resume. Oh, they're not going to think my skills are going to. Oh man, this is. What about all that money I spent on the degree? If I don't, all that stupid stuff, all of it. Going through panic attacks. By the time the year came, I was like, damn, man, this shit feels good. I never know what time it is. I never check. I never hardly ever know what day it is or time it is. Those are tools. Time is a tool. The day of the week, that's a tool. Like you open up your calendar, you see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the 16th. That's the tool. The only time I need to know what time it is if I got a appointment on the calendar, the date tool. The time goes with that tool. Okay, I got to go on this date and this time. So if I got to, like, for example, this is when, let me give you an example when I need the calendar and time. When I need to go get my hair cut, I got to reach out to that barber and say, hey, I would like to schedule time on Tuesday, the 16th at 3 o'clock. So now, in order for me to be there at that particular time set, I have to use the calendar tool and I have to use the time tool. After I get my hair cut, I don't care. I don't care what time it is anymore, especially if I don't have any more appointments. And I don't know I really have an appointment till my phone dings because I put it in there. If I have an appointment, I put it in there and then I forget about it. I say save and then I forget about it. I won't lie, I have a job, but I just don't worry about getting fired. Exactly, you don't care. But let me tell you this. I I got debt once I was debt free, I still had my job for a year. Excuse me, because I was too scared to quit. It wasn't a thought in my mind at the time, right? But I'm gonna tell you something. My experience at work for that year was totally different. It was totally different. I just wasn't accepting a lot of shit. I During manager meetings, I always spoke up. Hey, what about this? You guys said you were gonna do this, but you never nothing was because you ever notice like when you go to a meeting at work, they'll say, Hey, we're gonna do something the following week, and we'll talk about it the next week in the next meeting. And then the next meeting comes up and they don't say nothing about it. I never allowed that to happen. I say, Hey man, you guys, what about what you said last week? I'd raise my hand. Yeah, we almost forgot about it. You said you're gonna give us the answer for blah blah blah, whatever, right? But when you're in debt, most people are too scared to speak up against the managers or whoever, whatever, right? It doesn't even make any sense. But but when we used to go to meetings and that happened, everybody in my area would give me the questions to ask in the meetings. I kid you not. They were like, damn, LJ, man, you don't really even care. I was like, no, it's business. Why would I care? And then they're like, okay, here, send LJ all the questions. And then I would ask all the questions in the meeting. Question: why isn't financial knowledge taught in middle school? You learn finances when you're $100,000 in student loan debt. The fix is in. It's not caught. It's not taught because that's on purpose. This is hard for a lot of people to accept, but we need slaves. I'm not against slaves because they are there by choice. Slaves choose not to trust math. They're choosing it. Because everybody knows that in grade school, math was part of the lesson. Everybody understands math was in grade school. Everybody knows this. The reason why they stopped the math and money in grade school, I think it's for a couple of reasons. To show you that's all. First of all, to show you that's all you need. You don't need anything more than that when it comes to mathematics. You don't. You just need that when it comes to mathematics and finances. Okay. Uh, if they stop it there, the majority of people will forget it. They stopped the math, like it's almost like they stopped the math and money games in grade school, and then from about middle school on up, all you hear about is credit. Because I don't remember being taught anything about credit in grade school. I don't remember that. I don't remember them mentioning credit cards or loans or anything. All we learned was math and times tables. That's about it. But then about middle school and up, I think that's when credit started being introduced in my life. Because I think I could get my first credit card at like 16. So if it's 16, that means credit cards are being talked about, probably about 14, 15, something like that. Yep. You must be conditioned for you must be conditioned for slavery. That's for real, man. I really want you guys to understand that. That is for real. If you have a mortgage and you've refinanced your house several times and you still believe you're a homeowner, you are a slave. You're a slave. Damn, my girlfriend's talking loud. I can hear her all the way from downstairs. Hope you guys are not picking her up on the mic. She is loud. What's up, Dave? Dave says, yesterday I watched a TV show called Industry that comes on HBO. It's about a group of college grads working in the financial market for Bank of London. They have 6 months to earn their position. One of the kids literally stayed and slept at the bank for almost a week just to be able to compete with the others. His manager had to come to him and tell him he needs to clock out and come back in because bank security shows that he hasn't left the building in a couple of days. He messed up the font of the report he was tasked with and ended up stressing himself to death. He died in the back. Damn. He worked himself to death just to meet the deadline that their clients ended up rescheduling. Slaved himself to death. Wow. Lottery Guru says, LJ, did you always have red pill mindset or did you develop it as years of? That's a good question, Lottery Guru. And let me tell you something, right? And I can say this now because I didn't understand it when I was a kid. All right. I always knew as a child I was different. Okay. I always knew, but at the same time, I never stood out. Like I was always that guy people got along with. I was always, in the main crowd, in the main whatever sports, whatever. I was always that dude that could almost do it all. But in my mind, I knew I thought different than a lot of people. I always thought that, but I just thought at the same time, everybody thinks the way I think. That it's not just me. I used to think that, but then I would see people do things around me that I know they don't think like me because I don't think to do stuff that they do as I was growing up. Right now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I didn't make mistakes. I'm saying I got lucky. Okay. I got lucky. So as I got older, I always listened to the voice inside me. I've always listened to it. Okay. I didn't talk to anybody about it. When you talk to slaves, they say, oh yeah, you got a voice in your head. You need some medicine, stupid shit like that. No, I'm not talking. It's not like what they're saying. Okay. It's not like that. Okay. It's almost like it's somebody was always telling me the direction to go. Okay. Sometimes I would listen. This is how it would always work for me. It would tell me to do something. If I didn't do it, it would make it harder. And it would tell me again, if I didn't do it, it would make it a little harder. And then at one point, it'll just put up a absolute solid brick wall that's going to be so difficult for me to go over. Okay. It always gave me a choice. Don't get me wrong. It always gave me the choice to say, if you want to climb over this high brick wall, you can, but I'm making it really, really tall and difficult for a reason. Every time I ran into that brick wall, no matter what situation I was in, I always listened to it and went that direction. Because I knew if I would have busted the brick wall, climbed over, there was something negative that was going to be on the other side of me that it wasn't for me to go. So I would go this direction. Now, I didn't understand. And even like when The Matrix came out in 1999, I used to always say to myself, what if that shit was real? I used to say that to myself. What is that? But they're showing you on a movie and you start seeing monsters flying through stuff and people jumping off of buildings and not dying. And you think, oh, that can't be real. Well, that's the best way they can portray it to you in a movie. Just before I got out of debt, I remember as I was living in a high-rise apartment, fancy place, secured building, underground parking, driving a Lexus. I had my fully furnished, everything I could see. I had a great view from my balcony of my thing. And making six figures, work down the street from my job. I could drive to my job in 10 minutes, traffic free. There couldn't be anything better. But I remember being in my apartment, and I used to say, is this it? I made it. So I just do this until I retire at 65, 70 years old. And then I start living life. That's exactly what I said to myself. And then I said, no, this can't be. This cannot be. This cannot be. I don't work at this place. I just work to this place until I die, until I retire, and then I enjoy life. I said, nah, that can't be. But I didn't have an answer for it. So at that point, I had to go back and rely on the voice it's not even a voice. It's you can't, it's not like you can hear it like somebody's calling you and like somebody's calling your name. It's not like that. It's just something that's there. That's the only thing I can tell you, right? And so I just listened to it. By doing that, that's why I'm on this mic today talking to so many people now, helping people out of it. If I had not listened to it, it was like something said, get out of debt. Cool, I did it. And then once I got out of debt, the same thing said, okay, it's time to quit your job. No explanation. No backup plan. Not say, hey, you only can do it because you got 150,000 in the bank or whatever. Nothing. It just says, nope, you got to quit, and you got to quit now. It's almost like, put it this way. If you're about to do something bad, okay? You're about to do something bad, okay? Whatever that is, I'm not saying the totality of bad, but everybody know when they're about to do something that they shouldn't be doing. There's something inside of you says, hey, you shouldn't be doing this. This could be the outcome if you do that. This can happen and that can happen, blah, blah, blah. And then there's the other voice, which is not a voice, but there's another thing called ego. Ego says, do it anyway, do it for money, do it whatever, right? But then the other one says, hey, man, this is what can happen if you do it, if you do that. And now you have a choice. Everybody has a choice, and I've always chose. Now, I'm not going to say all the time, okay, because I believe it would be a bad thing if you just made one wrong choice and then that was it. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but I'm saying the majority of people have done bad things and gotten away with them a few times. It's just, and that's just me. That's just me. Randy Woman says, did you know that our birth certificate is actually a slave certificate? Now that you say it like that, yeah, I agree. You're born, here's your certificate, and then you're assigned a number, your social security number, which keeps track of everything you do, everything. Who do you think has access to that type of database? The database that connects you to everything. Very few people believe that. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Guarantee, best believe that social security number database will never, ever, ever be hacked. Ever. That will never be hacked. Guarantee that'll never be hacked. Ever. Mike Rambo says, I can hear you loud and clear, LJ. Appreciate it. I know you can, Mike. I can always tell the people that can hear me. I always know that. I can always tell the people that hear me. Financial education used to be taught in home ec. Oh, the asset wasn't stock. It was whole life insurance. Wow. LJ has the debt-free pill mindset. Yep. The red pill, the debt-free red pill. Post-depression families require guarantees. Post-depression families required guarantees. The most broke people I know make six figures because they have higher incomes to qualify for more debt than others. Yep. Now, if you're in the background listening to this and you're reading this is going to be a glitch for you. You're not going to really get it. You're not going to really get why you have more than what you think people are broke, right? Because your higher salaries qualify you for bigger loans. That's why you got the bigger house. That's why you got the nicer car. You're the same as the people you look down upon that live in a smaller house, drive a less nicer car than yours. If you're both making payments, you are the same. The cars don't matter. The house you live in, the neighborhood you live in, that doesn't even matter. Doesn't matter. If you're working on holidays and you got a nice car and you got a nice house, you're a slave. If you make six figures but can't afford to take days off when you're sick, that's because you're a slave. If you ever said out of your mouth, you said, hey man, I can't afford to take that many days off when I'm sick, you're a slave. Only slaves pick money over health. I share these experiences with you from a person that's outside of what you're in. Because I remember being in debt saying the same things. I can't afford to take those days off. Oh, I wish I could take a week off. That'd be nice if I was paid. I wish I could take a whole week off if they paid me. That'd be nice. Yeah. Somebody got to pay you in order for you to be free for a week. Somebody has to pay you in order to be free for a week. Why in the world would a company ever do that? That makes absolutely no sense. I know you guys think the majority, especially the majority of slaves, when you get paid on holidays, you probably really believe you're getting paid on those holidays. I guarantee you they're getting way more money out of you than what you think, than they're paying you. Believe that. I can say that from personal experience. Personal. I had a salary job. My job called me with a phone that they paid for. Know why they paid for it? Because that allowed them to call me 24 hours a day. Anytime they wanted, they call me anytime they wanted. So let's get that straight. They're paying me for 40 hours a week, but they have 24 hours a day. Let me see something. Let me make sure you guys understand this. Hours in week. A week. There's 168 hours in a week. Let me do that right. Let me make sure. 168 minus 40. 100. So check this out. There's 168 hours in a week. They was paying me for 40 hours of those week, but since I had a phone, they owned 24 hours of my life. So actually, they were getting 100. They were paying me 40 hours a week for 128 hours a week of my life, because they can call me anytime they wish. Hey, LJ, you know there's going to be an on-call rotation. Yeah, but what's the purpose of an on-call rotation if you're still calling me outside the on-call rotation? Don't even make no sense. They're paying me for 40, but they're getting 128. Boy, when you start adding up, when you start breaking that, man, when you start breaking that down, man, I'm telling you as it comes to me. And I just thought of that just now. There's 168 hours a week. They paid me for 40, but they had a phone they can call me anytime they wish. So they had 24-hour access to my life. Paying me for 40, but getting 128, that sounds like a deal. So now I think since I'm off on holidays and I think they're not paying me nothing. They're not paying me nothing. It's in my head. When I get Monday off and I say, oh, they paid me for the holiday. No, you earned it. Mm, mm, mm. Yes, you're right, Holly. That's why when I see those live numbers, hey man, Yeah, don't get hundreds and thousands of that don't deter me. That don't make me feel bad. That just that should, if you're listening and you're new to the channel, that should tell you why this group is so small. That's by design. Most people that come into this channel, they have not an understanding of a word of anything I'm saying. They don't even get it. What's up, NYC? LJ, I was obese when I retired. Now that I own my time, I've lost 35 pounds, only 20 more to go. Congratulations to retired 2019. Congratulations. Crazy, man. Your body shows the world how you feel inside. Believe that. That is true. Your body shows the world how you feel inside. Maybe they called out of rotation because you had an alien that didn't pick up. I know, right, Cosmic? You probably right. You right. Now, as much as they called me, because I was good at what I did, as much as they called me, the mindset I have today, they would have doubled my pay. I would have said, hey, you guys want me to stay here? Yeah, you're going to have to double my pay. Yeah, you guys think you can call me anytime you want. You're going to pay me $500,000 a year or something? That's the only way I'm going to even remotely think about that. You're going to pay me a $500,000 a year to call me to, don't call me. But again, for those of you that don't know why job employers ask to see your credit report, this is how they know how they can treat you. This is how they know if they can call you 24 hours a day. All they got to do is look at your credit report and see how much debt you're in. They already have your credit application. If you're married, if you got how many kids you got 4 kids. Check this out. If you go get a job, you're married, you got 4 kids, a mortgage payment, and all this other stuff, they know they can pretty much offer you anything they wish because you are desperate. LJ, you were making less than minimum wage. Sure. See what I'm saying? See, Andre comes in, flies in his flying saucer, slaps me, and then flies away. I can't catch a spaceship. He knows I can't catch a spaceship. I can't catch it. I don't even know which way he went. It's silent. But he's telling the truth. I just explained it to you too. And here's another one. Knowing that time is the most valuable thing on earth. Okay, I just gave you the hours during the week, right? There's 7 days in a week. Your job owns 5 of them. You might own 2. That by default tells you that your job owns more of the time in your life than you. And when I say 168 hours in a week, check this out. That's not including your time in traffic, to and from work. That doesn't even include that. Those are the real numbers. Like when you hear on the TV, oh, this is the top 1% of the people, 2% of the people, whatever, how they would want to say it. Slaves don't even know. They're not even at 0, so they don't even really know what that means. They don't know what that means. Do you agree with temp work? The purpose of a job is to get you where you need to be, not finance shit, not do a job is a job. I'm not knocking any type of jobs because a job is the only way you're going to earn money. You got to earn money, save up enough money to make your money start working for you, to have your money start making money. In order to do that, first you got to figure out how to own the majority of the time in your life. That's the number one goal. Do I own the majority of it now? No, man. I work 5 days a week. I work 50, 60 hours. I obviously don't own the time of my life if I'm working 40 plus hours a week. That's a default automatic. You deserve more than getting paid 40 hours, but they set it up that way because of high your salary. Yeah, it's I tell you this is what happened. I'm gonna give you guys so you guys can understand how this worked. Okay, I worked in Seattle, Washington for an airline company called Alaska Airlines. Okay, based out of Seattle, Washington. At this job, I made $110,000 a year as a virtualization engineer with the software called VMware. Okay, they paid me $110,000. Okay. This is the last year I was debt free. Okay. I was debt free at this time. Now, this particular job, I applied for a higher position to do something I was trying to do so I could make it better or something I was trying to do. Anyway, they denied me. They said, no, you can't have it. We're going to give it to somebody else and then you're going to train them. That's what they said to me. No, LJ, even though you know the system, we're going to go with somebody else. Okay. And you're going to train them. I said, no, thank you. I quit. Just before I quit, T-Mobile called me. I found out what I did. Hey, we saw this and that. And now I'm debt free at this time. I go into the interview. Interview's totally different. That's the best way I can explain to you. They knew I was evaluating them to see if I even want to work for them. They said, we want you, LJ, and we'll pay you 160. I got a $50,000 a year raise after one job switch. You know why? Because I was debt free and I believed in myself. After that point, I'm telling you, they can feel it. When you're in an interview, it's totally, an interview is different. It's totally different. I like say like, you know, you come in, first of all, put it this way. You go to an interview and you get to the interview and they're running late. That's strike number one. That's strike number one. They're coming in late. They know they don't give a fuck. You need a job. You're going to wait or whatever. That's strike number one. You come in. If I'm required to be at an interview on time, which is very important. You don't want to be late to an interview. That's very important. But then all of a sudden they come late. Hey, can you wait an extra 15 minutes? No, I'm leaving. Because this interview could be a week or two out. You're preparing I prepared my whole time. My whole week was planned around. Okay, I got to be here at this time. I want to leave just in time for plenty of time for traffic, just in case there's an accident. I'd rather be 10 minutes, 15 minutes early than 5 minutes late. That's just my attitude. And then you show up and they say, hey, can you wait an extra 20 more minutes? Because so-and-so, nope, I'm leaving. We'll reschedule. That's a red flag. Or when you get in the meeting and there's supposed to be several managers in there at the same time to interview, but we got to hold up because another manager is running late. That's strike number two. What's up with all this lateness? But let you come to work late. That's a problem. Steven says, LJ, how fast do you go through a jar of CMOS gel? I got to double up this. I'm starting to speed up because I wasn't taking it on a daily basis, but now I've been doing it on a daily basis, like consistently on a daily basis within the last couple of weeks. So I went through a jar. Damn, my girlfriend's doing some too. So it's going a little quicker. So I just reached out to him. I had to order some more. So I'm going through it pretty quick, and it counts on the spoon size that you're using. I don't know what size spoon you're using too. But I take one a day. I take one spoonful a day. At first, I couldn't do it by itself, but then after I got used to it, now I'm used to it. I don't mind taking a spoon straight from it and drink it, or it's a gel. I don't know, drink it, eat it, whatever. An employee must generate 3 times their pay. Damn. Crazy. Even top 1% usually work over 60 hours a week. See, I ain't doing none of that. I ain't doing none of that. 60 hours a week? No. LJ, you're tempting me to apply for jobs just to flex. You know, I thought about that too. But in order for me to flex, I gotta sign over. I gotta sign up for the pay. That I gotta do what they say. I gotta be there at 8. I only can leave at 5. I only can have an hour lunch. Like, I remember being proud that I got an hour lunch, right? Because there's people out there that have jobs. They can work an 8-hour shift. Now listen, they work an 8-hour shift and get a 30-minute lunch. And they don't even get 30 minutes because they gotta clock in or out or whatever they do, and then go walk to do whatever they're gonna eat or buy or whatever, right? You can't go get your lunch in a 30-minute lunch. You gotta bring it, or you probably, I don't know. It's just crazy, man. 30 minutes, that's not the time to do anything. You know how fast you gotta wolf down your lunch in 30 minutes to get back to clock in on? Oh God. 30 minutes. When you start thinking different, it's clearly visual. They don't respect your time. My job, General Motors, operation manager, human resources, fleet manager, 3 days off. What is 3 days off? What do you mean by that, champ? What does that mean? Underground says, oh, that is when you know these jobs ain't crap. You overstayed your welcome at your last job, which helps you see through the smoke on the next job. Sure did. You're right. They said that to me. Oh yeah, we're gonna train him. I said okay. And now remember, I'm debt free. So as soon as they said that, I had a meeting with 2 of the managers that made this decision. I said, so let me get this straight. I'm the only one that knows this system the way I do, because I had to figure it out. It's going to take me at least 2 years to transfer this knowledge to the new person, because they got to start from the basics. Oh yeah, that's what we want to do. I said, okay, cool. Here's my 2 weeks. You're quitting? Yeah, I'm quitting. Why? Because you just told me I'm not going anywhere by denying me the job. Now listen, I want you guys to understand something. There's nothing against Alaska Airlines. That's a business. They made the decision, whatever. Okay. It's nothing personal. It's business. They just decided against me. I said, okay, that's fine with me. I'm going somewhere else. And then T-Mobile found me and said, oh, LJ, you're worth it. Yeah, we'll pay you $50,000 a year more that you're worth it. And I still ended up quitting the T-Mobile job because I felt trapped. That's the feeling I can't really explain to you guys. Even though I worked in a building, a comfortable building, I remember this particular building, right? I remember I was getting hired for T-Mobile, right? They said, hey, yeah, we got I'm in an interview. They go, yeah, we got a nice restaurant downstairs, a chef so-and-so, he makes down and does this and he makes this kind of stuff down there. And the way he's talking about it, I asked him, I said, is it free? He's like, oh, no, man, it's not free. And in my mind, I'm thinking, why the fuck you telling me about that if it's not free? That's just so I will stay. I won't even leave the building. Give all the money back to him. Give all the money back to him. Spend your money here. Because you think T-Mobile's not getting part of that money. Yes, they are. They're getting some of that money. Believe that. And the food is always overpriced if it's in the same building you are. It's always overpriced. But just the way he was talking about that restaurant, I was like, why is he talking? He's talking like employees eat free. Oh, okay. All around all major holidays, 3 days off. Okay. So by the time you get to your car and back, you've used 10 minutes out of your lunch. Exactly. And then the 15-minute breaks. I know the 15-minute breaks. You could be in the middle of taking a dump, and you better get off that toilet and get back to work. You sure better. I use it in my smoothie. Oh, okay. You use smoothie daily. I knew I could take it alone once I knew I could take it alone once I smelled it. Ordering 2 more jars today. Thanks for telling me about Urban Bros and Food. Hey man, you're welcome, man. I know you got to get used to it. It's a smell, but once you know what I do at first, I used to just hold my breath as I took a spoonful of it, and now I don't have to do that. It's just it's just a sea smell. That's all. No, you can't. Thank you, Mama Max. Appreciate it. So again, if you guys have any questions of me, here's the link. There you go. Ask me any questions. Don't be shy if you're new. Like I said, it's a hard pill to swallow. It is. It's gonna be. What I'm asking, what SMD, not just me, what SMD is asking you to do is take everything you learned from everybody in your life financially and throw it out the window. That's what it's basically saying. Unlearn everything you've been taught when it comes to finances, everything. Believing that credit is the almighty, believing you have to get you have to have high credit scores to be anybody, to get anything, to buy how you gonna get a car, how you gonna buy a house. The only way your credit got to be good. All of that is it's a lie. None of that is mathematically. No, let me not say a lie. None of it is mathematically true. That's why they call it a dream. The American dream, they always associate it with a house, right? Live the American dream. They're telling you right from the beginning, it's a dream. Okay? If you finance a house and you believe you're a homeowner, that's not mathematically true, making it a dream. You're living the American dream. None of this is hidden. None of it. None of it's hidden. Dave says, in high school, I got a job in human resources. High school co-op. There was a VP who was hired who came into work. He went into the cafeteria every day, ordered his food, and walked out and never paid. Oh, wow. After a couple months, he was brought into HR and was let go for theft. Yeah, that's theft. Why would it's like this. And this is why I'm saying that I've always thought different. I would know that if I kept walking into the cafeteria and walking out with lunch, I know that's stealing. I know that's theft. So I would never do that. Right? I would never ever do that. But people do that. And for the life of me, I don't. It's like you want to walk up to a person like that and say, you're going to get fired for that, right? Because that's called stealing. But if they knew that, they wouldn't do that. Cash is king. Credit's the side piece. Use it once in a blue moon. Exactly. Yeah. Very true. He had his he had this high paying VP job, but never paid for his lunch in that fancy cafeteria we all went to. He probably thought, you figure a person because regular employees believe people with job titles like VP and, they think, oh my God, this is why they get to do this and that and get away with that. No, they're still employees. Okay. If they have a job title, they're an employee. That title is what the job gave to them. The job gave them that title, and they can take it away anytime they wish. These shows are the only time that you guys are going to get free advice. Okay. This is the only time you guys can get free advice from me. All right. Each person is individually different. That's why I talk to each and every new client personally, so they can see that they are different. Each person is different. All right. If not, we're going to wrap this up. If there are no more questions. I think you know what it is. I think what it is people are just, when it comes to finances, people are just intimidated. You know, I can imagine people that look like they have everything. You guys really don't even understand how many people are like that out there. There are some people out here that look like they have everything. Facebook is fooling you guys. Social media is fooling you guys. Life is rough for a lot of people right now. A lot of people. But if you jump on social media, it looks like it's not. People are not going to take pictures of the bad times. They're not, have you noticed when you go on Facebook, everybody's smiling in pictures? Is that all you got to do is sit back and think, is that true? Are you smiling every day in your life during 2020? Are you smiling every day? Then why are they? Because they're not. That's an illusion. Just like your house, just like your car, if you're making payments on your car is an illusion. Your car is there because you need a job. Your car is there because you have a job. You lose your job, you lose your car. You only live in a house because you have a job. Lose your job, you lose your house. Do you get it? That's an illusion. Facebook is most definitely. I know I was about to get off, but now this pop into my head. I be seeing commercials on TV talking about Christmas time and the jingle bells and all this other stuff. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy to me when I hear I watch the news. I don't really watch the news, but if I'm watching Judge Judy, I happen to catch the news, right? They'll talk about COVID, how many people it's killing, and then the commercial will talk about Christmas times coming up. They'll talk about in the news. They'll talk about how many jobs have been lost and people losing their jobs, and then all of a sudden they come to then there's a Christmas commercial on. Does that make sense? Doesn't make sense to me. No, I don't. What he's referring to is when I first started out, before I went to Savings Minus Debt, I used to have Food Ain't My Daddy. You can look me up on Facebook. Facebook, Food Ain't My Daddy. Here, let me get that link. And I'm not really that active on it because I'm doing some other things. But when I do post fitness videos, I post it there. One second here. Pages. There we go. Let me go to Food Ain't My Daddy real quick and see if I can get this URL. Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay, this is my my Facebook. And at first I had Food Ain't My Daddy and Debt Ain't My Daddy. All right. And so Debt Ain't My Daddy grew into Savings Minus Debt because Debt Ain't My Daddy was funny, but if I said debt ain't my daddy to a slave, a slave will turn around and say, well, debt don't own me either. I got this and that. Debt is not my, blah, blah, blah. But then so I moved to savings minus debt, and you can't really argue with that because it's a mathematical equation. They can't really attach their feelings to a mathematical equation. Most people, even though I have it, you got to remember I have it spelled out, savings minus debt. They don't, it's in words, so they don't know it's a mathematical equation, which is weird. So I was at Best Buy and saw people paying for the PS5 with the Best Buy. Oh God. Oh, woo. If people knew how much it actually cost to manufacture a PS5, they would be they would be so upset. I bet you it don't cost them shit to manufacture a PS5. Now, if you Google it, it'll say, "Oh, it costs $450 to manufacture a PS5." Sure, it does. Sure. One of my buddies had bought a new Benz last year. Posted a lot of pics of it. Come to think about it, I haven't seen him post in months. I made it because he probably don't have it no more. He may ask me. I know, right? Mama Max says, "Hey LJ, interview is different when you are out of debt." Yeah, it's very different. Very different. Steven says, "LJ, I watch commercials on mute now, especially these loan banking credit card." Oh man, they're the best. Bank commercials are the best to watch while on mute. They are the best. Now, I don't really watch that much TV, so I don't really watch that much, man. But when I happen to turn, I mean, the news will terrify you. It's so funny. The whole news cycle goes to the main thing. First, they seem like they talk about war, death, COVID, and then they'll throw on a new story, and then they'll throw about on something about some puppies or some cats or some dogs, and then they'll start it all over. It's a whole cycle. To start with the worst news, and then towards the commercial, end with somebody talking about somebody saving a little puppy in a drain, and then they'll start it all over again. It's like an endless cycle. It's crazy what they do. It's crazy. I remember I was watching this commercial the other day, drive time commercial. And it's this lady, this black lady. She's always in this green outfit, right? And she's talking really fast. And this last commercial, she had a puppy. She's like, "Hey, here's drive time will save you money." And it's real, just like this puppy. And then they bring a puppy in the video. And the girl goes, "Oh my God, that's a puppy." It's like when you're outside the debt matrix, you're like, "What the fuck is a puppy doing in this business commercial? Why you got that dog in here?" It's a distraction for slaves. You know what slaves do? "Oh my God, that doggy is so cute." Guess who they're gonna remember who did the cute doggy commercial? Drive Time. They're gonna now trust Drive Time to finance a car because Drive Time had a puppy in their commercial. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, man. I was putting in some hard work before I found Savings Minus Debt. I was really putting in some hard ass work for that channel, man. But I just found that there's too many people that can make up shit in fitness, and you don't know. You just can't. What I do now is undeniable, and I can prove it every single time. Anybody that comes to me for help, I can prove that I can help them. I'll show them on paper. It'll be up to them to choose to believe it or not. Well, let me go over here and check. Make sure you guys ain't late, because sometimes it'll show up late on this side, and I see the last comments come through after I click end. Oop. End. There we go. Okay. Consumer citizen pays all costs. Yeah, they do. Pay all costs. It's crazy. and I'm gonna leave on this note, okay? I'm telling you, when you get out of the debt matrix, um, slaves, you guys don't realize you guys pay for everything. You guys pay for everything. I always say this so you guys can really get it. Economic classes that you know of, lower class, middle class, upper class, they don't exist. Even that's an illusion. That's an illusion. Same thing with money. It's all an illusion. But if you're under zero, the only class you belong to is the debt class. That's it. Okay. It doesn't matter who's the deepest in debt. It doesn't matter if somebody's $100,000 in debt and you're $10,000 in debt. You're still in debt. You might be closer to zero than the person in $100,000 in debt, but you're still in debt. And I promise you this, if you're in debt, when it comes to the economy, you don't count. Here's a story I was thinking of. I know I always say I'm gonna leave and then I come up with another story. But here's a story I was thinking of so you can understand what I mean. Okay. Say like you lived in a house with 10 other people. This is a big house, okay? And you live in a house with 10 other people and you're part of the 10, okay? All right. So say like everybody in this house has let's say they had $20,000 in their bank account and they're not in debt. Now, add up all your savings and add up all your debt, and including your student loans, mortgage payment, credit card payment, at right now, or log into your Credit Karma, click on accounts, and look at your net worth. That's going to be a large, deep negative. Okay. So say like that's how much money you have. Okay. Now you're in this house and it's time for a new roof. Now everybody in the house has to contribute $1,000. Now each of these guys have money and they're not in debt and they're giving up $1,000 and they say, well, we want some new fangled roof that has this longer lasting life. And they say they want that type of roof. Now you come along and you have no money to contribute towards the roof, but you say, I don't like that kind of roof. No, thank you. And you're not contributing any money towards the roof. Do you think they're going to listen to you? That's how you are in the house of the United States economy. If you're in debt, you don't count because you have no money to say anything. That's how it is in real life. So once you get out of debt, you'll be able to understand this. That's how it works. But as long as you're in debt, you will never be able to understand a word that I'm talking about ever. All right, I'm in on that. You guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. See you later. Enjoy your evening. I hope you ate good. Those of you guys that got to get back to work right after the holiday, make it not even feel like a holiday. Take the words, get to work, take these words with you so you can start thinking about how you're going to change that. Those of you that wish you could take Thanksgiving off, Friday off, and then the whole weekend off, I want you to think about that. How come you can't? Happy slave giving. That is pretty funny. I like that. Tomorrow's Black Friday, but every day is Black Friday when you're debt free. Yeah, every day is Black Friday. Show is. You guys have a wonderful evening. See you later.